What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope y'all are having a good day, because I am. So it's pretty obvious that us as wrestling fans, we obviously got our top 10 list of our favorite wrestlers of all time. Well, in today's video I'll be discussing my favorite wrestlers of all time, and in another video I'll be discussing my favorite wrestlers currently, the ones that are currently wrestling, no matter which promotion they're in, whether WWE, AEW, or anywhere else. And keep in mind, guys, that this is my personal list, so if your favorite wrestlers are not in the list, please don't bite me, but you should let me know down there in the comment section below who your favorite wrestlers of all time are. And another disclaimer is that I wasn't born during the Attitude Era, so don't bite me too when you don't see any of those mega stars from back then in this list. But without talking too much, let's get straight into it. So now at number 10 we have Rey Mysterio. I think this simply explains itself, given that I'm a PG era kid. So yeah, basically everyone at school, their favorite wrestler will either be John Cena or Rey Mysterio. So yeah, you go to school hearing and you hear people say that, oh, did you see what Rey Mysterio did to so and so and stuff like that. So obviously you'd want to fit in too, but then at the end of the day, that also benefited me because I liked Rey Mysterio as a kid. I always wished I had a mask like him. I always wished I sat on the front row at WrestleMania or any pay-per-view, and Rey Mysterio come and do his taunt thing he does with kids. But given that there has never been a WrestleMania or any pay-per-view here in South Africa, usually live shows, and I haven't attended one, it's pretty discouraging. But I would want to meet him one day because he definitely made my childhood. It pains me to have Kane at the bottom of the list. I mean, Kane is literally one of the most unique characters in the entire sport. Like, Kane is just likable. No matter whether he's heel or face, I still liked Kane because Kane there was just something about Kane. I liked his entrance. I liked his entrance theme song. I liked his gear. He had awesome gear, especially when he would wear a mask. I just wasn't a fan of an unmasked Kane. I think he needed better booking, but still, Kane was just amazing. I liked I liked him as the partner with The Undertaker. He was just awesome. And Kane is one of the most underrated wrestlers who needed long reign as champ. So number 8 we had Christian. I loved Christian growing up. He had one of my favorite movesets, one of my favorite finishes, and he had a great theme song. I loved Just Close Your Eyes. That was literally one of the most unique theme songs of all time, right? Yeah, so a fun fact, when I used to rap, right? So when I started, I was in 7th grade. My first rap name was Killswitch. It was literally inspired by his finisher. That's the way I loved Christian growing up. And yeah, he's generally one of the most underrated wrestlers, if not he is the most underrated wrestler of all time. And here's an unpopular opinion. I preferred Christian over Edge. Hear me out on why I preferred Christian over Edge. Edge right? He was literally one of the most red hot heels around 2006, that time. So yeah, I literally hated Edge, cause yo, he literally would get under my skin, especially with that Matt Hardy. What's this thing? Feud, right? Yeah, that's why I didn't like Edge, and I preferred Christian over him. But I know that at the end of the day, Edge was doing his job, and he was doing it perfectly, because heels are meant to generate a lot of heat, and since heels are meant to generate a lot of heat, especially a heel like Edge, that's why I preferred Christian over. I mean, I think I'm more of a fan of underdog wrestlers like Christian, Sami Zayn, and stuff like that. So that's why I have Christian over Edge in this list. So at number 7, we have Dolph Ziggler. This might be a controversial one, because most of y'all might think that, or might tell me that, but Dolph Ziggler doesn't have a great resume. It's not about the resume, it's about the moments he made. They personally have a soft spot in my heart. His cash-ins were one of the best cash-ins of all time. When he cashed in the first time, I literally almost cried as a kid. And then his Survivor Series match, the one 2014, Team Cena versus Team Authority, he was the sole survivor in that match. He literally, at that time, I literally hated the Authority. So when Dolph Ziggler kicked their asses, I was literally glad. Another reason why he's one of the best sellers, probably next to The Rock, but no, next to Shawn Michaels. I don't want to over exaggerate there, but yeah, Dolph Ziggler is definitely up there. And I liked his theme song, his first one, not here to show the world. I liked Perfection more than Here to Show the World. And the other reason why is because he's a good wrestler. I like his super kick. It's probably next to Shawn Michaels. I know he's the successor of Shawn Michaels, but he literally, if he had a great world title run, a long one, and he had more opportunities like that, then he would have been surely compared to Shawn Michaels for good reasons. So at number 6, with Daniel Bryan, I definitely regard him as one of the greatest performers of all time, along with Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles and those type of wrestlers. He's definitely one of the greatest performers of all time. There's literally not a lot of words that I can say about this man. This man literally made the PG era relevant in a way. Like when CM Punk, after the downfall of CM Punk and when he left, Daniel Bryan sort of he brought this new movement called the Yes Movement, which it's literally next to the pipe bomb that CM Punk presented around 2011 during his brief run in his prime, right? Yeah, the Yes Movement is one of the most unique moments of this PG era. I love Daniel Bryan's moveset, his entrance theme. It just has that vibe. That, yeah, you know that there's something unique that's gonna happen in the ring, regardless of who he's with. And I loved his return. When he returned, I was literally happy, because when he retired, I was so devastated, because this was one of the wrestlers I rooted for during this era, and he leaves. CM Punk left, now Daniel Bryan is retiring. When he returned and turned heel, that was literally one of the most best runs of his entire career, in my opinion. And at number 5, with Chris Jericho. I regard Chris Jericho as one of the greatest of all time, given his resume. This man has had success in WCW, WWF/WWE, AEW, and New Japan. This man is simply one of the greatest of all time, given how he has the ability to reinvent himself each and every time. I personally liked his run with the list of Jericho. That was literally one of the most entertaining parts of Monday Night Raw during the time when no one could stand Roman Reigns. Chris Jericho definitely is one of the greatest of all time, given how he has the ability to make something that literally makes no sense into something that will become relevant for a while and will be memorable. Take his run as the Le Champion. He might not be AEW champion at the moment, but he still managed to make that into something big of his career in AEW. I personally liked his feud with CM Punk in 2011 when CM Punk was WWE champion, and that feud might have been personal and controversial at sometimes, but it was literally one of the best feuds of CM Punk at that time. And yeah, I might like Chris Jericho's runs in WWE more than his AEW run, but if you think about it, he has elevated a lot of wrestlers in AEW to make them seem like legit names. Take guys like Jungle Boy, Scorpio Sky, Darby Allin, Hangman Page, and Kenny Omega, and etc. And yes, he's way out of his prime and he's sloppier, and I prefer his WWE runs, but that doesn't mean he isn't cemented as a legend, whether he is in AEW or New Japan, because he's definitely at the top of his game right now, and he is definitely in my list. Do I really need to sit here and waste your guys' time? Nah, I don't think so. Like, there's nothing really to explain here. Just think about it. The streak. That's all I can say. The streak, the entrance, the gimmick, and yeah, that's basically it. And on top of that, he's in my favorite wrestling match of all time. His match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25, not WrestleMania 26, not WrestleMania 25. My favorite wrestling match of all time. Nothing else to say here. Next. Like The Undertaker, same applies for Shawn Michaels. Is it my favorite wrestling match of all time? Probably has my favorite entrance of all time. Like, he was just so entertaining to watch. Every time he would turn to hit the Sweet Chin music, I would literally stand up and go to my couch and taunt and do the same thing. I literally love Shawn Michaels there. I would literally imitate him every time he spoke and stuff like that. And I know I wasn't born during the Attitude Era, so I missed out most of his career. But me starting to watch him when he had my favorite wrestling match of all time, he motivated me to rewatch old video clips of back in the day in the Attitude Era. And yeah, he definitely had to be in this list. And at number 2, you have a tie between John Cena and CM Punk. Yes, this might seem as cheating, but I love them both equally. I probably love John Cena more, but CM Punk also had to be on top of this list. For John Cena, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're a PG era kid like I am, you obviously loved John Cena growing up. Yes, he might have buried the Nexus and Alex Riley, but John Cena was just that childhood hero that, yeah, we probably all miss John Cena at some point. No matter how much he annoyed the fans back then, we probably miss John Cena at the moment. And then for CM Punk, the pipe bomb. Around that time, 2011, that time, wrestling was red hot. Here in South Africa, wrestling was red hot, and this was the feud that was literally spoken about at schools. So yeah, CM Punk definitely had to be here. And I know since CM Punk left WWE, he's been this controversial figure. He's turned his fans against him and his friends, but that still doesn't change. And I know CM Punk might be a controversial one, he definitely is one, but that doesn't change my mind. Yes, he might seem overrated. Yes, he might have turned his fans against him. Yes, he might have lost at UFC, but I still regard him as one of the greatest in my opinion. And at number 1 with Randy Orton. I don't know why this man receives a lot of hate. He's literally the most hardworking wrestler probably of all time. I guess, yeah. Most of the wrestlers he feuded with are either retired, part-timers, left for Hollywood, or left the WWE in general. But this man stuck with them, and he's still wrestling, and he's still looking like $1,000,000. He hasn't aged. This man is just so good. He's good at what he does. He's good at generating heel heat, which he was literally born for. Like, Randy sucks as a face. I hate to say that, but he sucks as a face. And I love his theme song. I love Voices more than Burn My Lights. That's an unpopular opinion, but yeah, I just love Randy Orton. He's just one of the greatest and heels of all time, and he started this at a young age and he's still pushing it. I really appreciate this man. And that is it for today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new, please subscribe and hit the notification bell in case I post a video every time. And yeah, let me know down there in the comment section who are your top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time, and let's keep it civilized. Thank you.